I just kind of want to talk about coming out to my parents and just family and publicly in general. Last Monday, I actually, quote unquote, officially came out as an atheist on my Instagram.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. You know, I kind of got into it, I guess, like the end of summer 2016, and then just kind of fell into the atheist hole, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just, to clarify,
Yeah,
you know what? I haven't stuttered that hard in a while.
Yeah.
The atheist hole, are you talking about that kind of, what is the meaning of everything, and that kind of...
yeah, existential crisis?
Yeah, thank you.
Or
for a little bit, yeah, actually. But then just kind of kept watching things like, you know, Matt Dillahunty, Aaron Ra, sorry, Steven Pinker, Sam Harris, you know, all the great thinkers, great atheist thinkers, I guess. And they kind of just alleviated that. I'm sorry, say again?
Oh.
no, I made a funny face.
Jamie made a face like, what about us? And I said, we're going to get there eventually, buddy.
Yeah,
Even when I don't interrupt.
I was just going to get there because I just I found you guys when Matt was on, Matt Dillahunty, and I watched the entire thing when I was at the gym when I first saw it. So you guys are the next hole that I'm going to go down, trying to watch all your guys' clips and stuff. So I want to thank you guys for that. But just a quick story, I guess.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed is that just since kind of more coming out to my family and just like in general, I've noticed that people just don't really like to ask questions to people about what they believe, you know? Because my brother, my next oldest brother got married. I'm the baby of 3 boys. When my next oldest brother got married last year, I kind of just like slipped it into conversation with my oldest brother because we were waiting for the ceremony to start and he really had to go to the bathroom, but he couldn't find the bathroom. So he kind of just pointed out to the courtyard and he said, you know, you think I'd be cursed if I went to go pee in the courtyard or something? And I just said, you know, I'm an atheist. I don't care. And he said, I think he said, come on, Mitch, you're not an atheist. And I was like, I actually literally just said, how about you ask me about my beliefs instead of telling me about my beliefs?
Ooh, nice. That's way better than what I was thinking. I was thinking, have you heard the old saying, you could pray in one hand and shit in the other? And see which one fills up first?
I have not.
No. I thought you were going to say, and then he peed himself right there on his wedding day. And I was like, oh no!
Sorry,
that's completely inappropriate. I apologize. Go ahead.
That would have been something. But then he just said the classic, you know, come on, you must believe in something. And then I said, of course, I believe in lots of things. And that's just kind of where it ended. But since then, I've just kind of like slipped it into conversation with my parents and, you know, whatever. And like I said, I've noticed that people don't really like to ask about like clarification and stuff. And I don't know if that's because they have their own preconceived notions or, you know, whatever. But another thing, actually, I think my dad might be an atheist as well. I'm not entirely sure. But he was, my grandparents like basically forced him into Catholic school when he was a kid. So he just kind of was not fond of the whole idea. And just literally just flat out told me the other day, you know, they're all just stories and they were made by men. And you know what? Men lie. So that might be.
I was going to say Catholic school, that'll do it. They really, really beat the Jesus out of you.
Literally in some cases.
Yeah, well, that's
I've only heard stories.
Well, you were...
I didn't go to a religious school, though.
Really?
Well, you know what? Actually, let me take that back. I had half of a year in 2nd grade in a religious school, and then we had to move out. But yeah, I actually went to public school. So I don't got that. What about you, Jimmy? Did you?
And you went to public school in a place where that doesn't just mean, oh, extra Jesus. No, I born and raised in Austin, and the private schools here are great.
Wait, did you go to private school?
Yep.
Wow.
It's Texas. If you can afford literally any private school,
I bet your
that's where
parents are still together too.
Yeah, but they don't go
I
on
love you,
vacation
Jamie.
together anymore. No, my parents are happily married.
They're beautiful.
My childhood is boring.
They're beautiful people that I have not been introduced yet because I'm Jamie's shame apparently. But.
No, but to be clear, getting back to Mitch, actually that's a perfect transition, is my parents now know that I'm an atheist, have a little bit of a better idea, I think, maybe, about what that means, but they don't ask as much. My mother does a little bit because she's getting a little more Jesus, but they also know that I'm president of the ACA and that things are happening and that I have a show and that show is available as a podcast. And aside from, at one point, my brother-in-law saying I'm listening to a bunch of podcasts, what are they? And then I kind of shied away from, being like, oh, it's Talk Heathen, this is when it's on, you should do this, because I was a little bit, oh, they're being introduced. And my mother asking once, which means she's not going to do it because it means downloading a new app and figuring out how it works. I love you, Mom. They don't know what's happening here. They don't know. I mentioned that a fence came down, so they know that there was a fence somewhere and that it came down.
We tore down that wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, I don't have a Reagan impression, but they don't know the significance of I set out to have the goal of having the library open 7 days a week and did everything that I could with my not having money to donate to make that happen and to bring the wall down and all of this, and they've never been here. And I don't know that I can blame them for that because particularly on Sundays they've got churching to do, but as far as, well, this is a thing particularly that's new to you that you're passionate about, but that the people that are closest to you are not asking about, that feeling I can entirely empathize with. And I don't know about you, but I kind of have mixed feelings because it almost allows me to ease them into it, but I don't know. I don't know what their interest is. One of my sisters has asked me about it once.
Yeah, my family's not really ever been really religious anyway, because probably just because, with grandparents forcing my dad in Catholic school and all that stuff, they never really wanted to force it on us. And I just went to RE, religious education, for like a year or something like that before I got my first communion.
You went to RE religious school?
RE, the acronym for education.
Religious, okay. I thought it was like, I went to RE's school, which is super great. I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Yeah, you haven't heard of him? No. But actually, it was kind of funny because when my girlfriend and I were cleaning up, we found my binder that they gave us, and it was extremely cringy, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah. Sorry, now I'm going down my own cringy path.
Yeah, no, I'm also thinking of like, oh yeah, because for a while, a member of my family was attending like Bible study, and so I asked them about it, and it was actually really interesting because other than the person that was passionate about it, I was undeniably the person that had the most knowledge about their Bible study other than them, and I might argue that I know the Bible better than them because I read the parts that you avoid in Bible study in a church. But
right,
yeah,
that works, huh?
I think
real cringy real fast.
Yeah, I think going back to the advice on it, I know I feel like a broken record because I don't have a lot of better advice, but in my experience, when I have phrased it, I found it best when I said, this is what I want to talk about. And I made sure that, especially with family, that I let them know, hey, I still love you, because what I've seen before is some people, I need you to sit down. I'm an atheist. And what that can ring in with a lot of other people, what that can incidentally say is there's a fundamental shift in the way that we're going to treat each other. And that's not necessarily true. You know, that's the same as, I'm breaking up with you, or you're never gonna see me again, you know? And for some people who never really left the church, or for people who have a different idea of what atheism means, unless they know ahead of time what that means, they could be taking that along with it. There's a lot of subtext in that, you know, I'm no longer gonna talk to you, or I completely disrespect what you have to say, or I worship the devil, or whatever they have in mind, they're taking that with them. So when you say, you know, sit down, I need to talk to you, I'm an atheist, it can backfire. And so one of the ways to do that is to, you know, you can use different words. You could say, I don't believe, right? And then lead into, that also means I'm an atheist. Or in my circumstances, what worked best for me was I said, you know, I was totally honest. I was very open, and I said, I want to talk to you about something that's important in my life, but I'm afraid that by talking to you about it, it's going to hurt my relationship with you. And this person that I spoke to stopped, and they said, what are you talking about, Eric? I love you. Like, what would you have to say? And that opened it up, you know, because then it was less about, I need you to accept my atheism, and it was more them being ready to accept you and your atheism. Okay, yeah. Because being an atheist isn't just everything about you, right? It's one stance on one thing. And contextualize that, right? In my experience, that has helped. Now, I don't want to give advice that's not going to work in your life and totally destroy your life or whatever, but that's what worked for me. So if that helps. And,
yeah, you know, like I said, my family's never been like crazy religious. Honestly, I think I'm more into the topic than any of them are. Since I've become an atheist. But yeah, I remember hearing Matt Dillahunty talk about it once, or a few times in videos, and he just said, you know, like, don't have the sit down, I'm an atheist thing, you know, like, put it into the conversation, don't make it like a formal thing, make it, you know, casual and comfortable. And I actually, you know, I just kind of flat out told my mom one day when we were in the car, I was just like, you know, if there is something out there, I really don't think it's the God of the Bible, just because of all the research I've done. And we were having a good conversation about, you know, theology and stuff before, because I had been talking to this girl that was just kind of going nuts and flat out told me, people that say they don't believe God exists is like people telling me the sky isn't blue. And I was like, sorry, that kind of depends on refraction from the sun. But anyway.
What about at night?
You run away, man. Let me tell you something. If we're going to start a rumor, I'm going to say this right now. Date an atheist girl. Date an atheist, period. They're better in bed.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, live studio audience, by the way.
It's funny, I had like a thing I was going to say about coming out, and I was going to recommend Greta Christina's book,
like real stuff?
Go
ahead.
Yeah. This is weird. You had the joke that revolved around sex, and I had a real thing that got distracted by it.
Oh, man, how
Mirror
does it feel?
Universe, this is the darkest timeline. No, but you know what? I like it, and I think it's great, and so you should let me be crazy. No, I would say, yeah, my thoughts on this used to be much more narrow, which is, oh, it's better not to have a conversation. But I think now that I've met people that have, you know, like people have different relationships with their parents and with different people, and so I feel like there is something to be said for, no, I know this person, and they would rather that I just explicitly tell them. However, if you think about what a person's reaction, not just to understanding that you don't believe, but how they learned it, how they figured that out, is deeply going to affect the way they interact with you, right? Like, I sometimes try and think about what it would be like if my parents had learned that I had a boyfriend in college in a different way, like, rather than, you know, telling me how shocked they were like 10 times in a row.
Did you just come out on air?
I think so.
This is the first time I've been waiting. You never actually have directly come out on air.
I don't remember.
Keep track.
I'm gay all the time, and so I can't keep track.
Yes, he is. Hashtag right swipe Jamie.
Or, well, You don't swipe on Grindr. But
what do you do?
I think that's between me and the
Upswipe,
other people on
downswipe,
Grindr.
hit
But
the hashtag grind on Jamie. Let's get it going. Sorry, Mitch. Jamie, go ahead.
I'm Jamie Boone, and I approve this message. Yeah, but there's something to be said for it depends on your relationship, not just like in general, but with a specific person. So back in the day, when it was entirely unacceptable to say, hey, I'm gay, it was like, oh, you know, everyone understands that that's the case except for grandma that just thinks you're really, really close friends with your roommate. And so it's sort of like everyone else is sort of like, oh, you know, okay. And then your parents would stop asking you about having kids or whatever. And I actually, like, I have a close friend whose aunt has one other really close friend that's this other woman that, you know, they go on vacations together and it's just them to go hang out on a beach and all of this. And pretty much everyone's like, yeah, you're not married and have never shown an interest in being married to a man. And her opinion is sort of like, why won't she just come out? This is so bad, or whatever. But I mean, really, you know your relationships better than we do because we're not the NSA. Right. So we can't really give you detailed advice on that. But however, we can tell you what we know.
And we hope that sharing our experiences can help you in some way.
Oh yeah, you guys, even just having these conversations has helped me so much. Good. So you know, I appreciate you guys talking to everybody you've talked to and helping me understand the arguments better.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you, man.
Speaking
of, we actually have some theists on the line, so we're going to head up to the next call. But go ahead, Jimmy.
Let me just say, Greta Christina has a book, Coming Out Atheist, and it's about coming out atheist, and it's like a collection of stories, and it's great.
Really? Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate the talk. I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Absolutely. You take care, man.
You guys as well.
All right.
Have a good one.